Welcome to UALR. The name of the class is Topics in Persuasive Writing, Rhetoric and Music. The basic purpose of the class is to combine rhetorical theory and the understanding of how music is used primarily as a persuasive tool, but also as a way of entertainment, self-entertainment. Some of the things we talk about include film music, because that's an example of music being used to persuade an audience. We also talk about music as propaganda. So we discuss the political uses of music, also the religious uses of music. And it's really structured in a way that I want students to have an understanding of rhetoric, have an understanding of music, but then apply that to the music that they listen to in their own lives. The religion and music part of the class primarily looks at it from the perspective of how music can be used to support any institution, whether you're talking about a political institution, educational institution, but also religious institutions. And when you look at the history of Western religion, music has, in different forms, played a role in how those institutions were supported, how the ideologies, the theologies of those institutions were also illustrated, supported in the music that would be used in the churches. As far as music and film, we talk about how music is used to help characterization, help tell a story in narrative film, and also how it's used to establish place, to set a mood. And it's done in a way, if it's done well, it's done in a way where the audience doesn't really pay that much attention to it, but it has a major effect on how the film is perceived. What I hope the class will be is a discussion class. And I want the class the discussions in class to go wherever the students want to take the discussions. So sometimes I'll come in with a particular topic in mind, get started, then students will take it places I never even thought about. And I think that shows that they're making the connections between the material and their own, uses in music, their own interest in music. And so I would prefer that by the end of the semester that it's really totally a discussion class. One of the difficulties that I found when I first started this was that using rhetoric and applying it to music is really tough. Rhetoric, when we think about it in terms of speech and writing. And although music has some similarities to speech and writing, there are enough differences that sometimes it can be a little difficult trying to bring those two together. I think that's one of the reasons why there's not a lot out there. At the beginning, when I first started first semester, I really wanted to try to focus on setting up that foundation so they would be able to apply it. But what I found is that most of the time they're not really having that much of a problem making the connections. So I really focus on trying to make connections. Even in things that might not be considered traditional rhetoric, we find elements of rhetoric in it.